Welcome to Peace in the Valley, where adventure starts at home.
Hello everybody. How are you doing this afternoon? It's doing great here. It's a little warm. But there's something I wanted to bring to your attention that I'm going to hope to rectify soon. And that is, after buying the tractor, you can see that this space we purchased, it is a storage canvas tent, something like that, metal frame. We put in lights and we did all this stuff. It's pretty nice. But there's one thing that's a little bit of a problem when we talk about the storage space, and that is it never seems like there's enough. And we've recently got new equipment, and you can see some of that is actually sitting out here in the grass. And also on the tractor itself, we've got the bucket, the backhoe, and when all of that comes off, there's not a whole lot of room in here to actually get everything in. So the tractor fits fine if we stack everything on top of each other, but that doesn't work out so well. So what is the solution? Well, I'm going to try to build some shelves where we can put stuff in, and I've taken some measurements. We're going to double check the spacing, and we're going to see if we can make something that is a little more helps with the space in here, because it's 12 foot by 24 and it's 11 foot high, so the height I think is fine, but we just, as far as the square footage, is just a little small for everything to have its own space on the ground. And the tractor doesn't have a choice, the backhoe doesn't have a choice. Both of those are really heavy, and not that the other equipment's not heavy, it's just not as heavy. So I'm thinking if we build a shelf, we can design it in such a way that we can put it off to the one side, still reach it, and as long as we have access to the pallet forks, we can go and lift up all the different pieces of equipment, bring it down and attach it. Because it's quick attach, it makes it real simple to remove and change out what's on the front end. It's not quite the same on the back end. The backhoe takes 5 minutes to unhook and 20 minutes to hook up or so. And if we can make better use of our space, I will be happier, and I think the equipment will be either, because it won't have to sit out in the rain. So let's check it out. Okay, on my iPad, I went ahead and got my cut list. So, right here it is. This is kind of what I want it to look like. I hope it looks a lot better than that. But here's what I'm going to cut, and we're going to have to do some routing so the boards fit together. So the weight is on the wood and not on the screws to shear them off. So let's get started. Let's just mark them all right now. find it funny how they call this premium lumber right here when you buy it at Lowe's. And you see stuff like this. It's got a stamp of approval, at least, because I'm sure that stamp would hold your house together. Next one I'm going to do is cut out about 3/8 on the bottom here. And that way the other boards will be able to fit in and put the weight on the screws. So if we look at this and check the other side, this would be able to fit into it. And that way we don't shear the screws off with the weight, but all the weight is on the boards themselves. So we're going to do a test one right here and make sure it works. Put a mark where now the wood will be able to rest right inside here, just like that. Yep. And when we screw it in, we could even take a notch out of this too, just so it mates up even better. I might do that. But that way, all the shear strength lies in here. We could do something else and put a saw where the saw puts a score right in there so we don't go past that mark. I think I will actually do that on the rest of them. We mark them all ahead of time. That way, if we catch something, then we can redo them before we cut. Sorry. I found this nice piece of wood along the road yesterday up in New Haven. Thought, you know what? It's a nice piece of wood. Gotta go home and make use of that one. Now I'm doing this on both sides so I don't get the tear out. when I hit it. There you go. Look what Angel found in the garden. Wow. Just so you can see it in reference, she says it's a zucchini. And we didn't even realize it was there. What are you going to do with it?
Oh, we'll probably eat it somehow. I do like to make zucchini bread, so.
Okay, well there you go. Measure it. How long is that thing?
Hold on.
About 20 inches? Yeah.
Probably. 18 at least.
Here's a tape measure. Okay. Let's measure it right here on camera. From end, about 17 3/8.
Looking out at the road, rushing under my wheel. Looking back at the years gone by, like so many summer years. 65, I was 17, and I'm running up on that. I don't know where I'm running now. I'm just running on, running on, running on that beat, running on, running on, running into the sun, but I'm running behind. Gotta do what you can just to keep your love alive.
Back. We are starting day 2 of our project.
Trying not to
Making
confuse with what
a
you
shelf for the accessories of the track. So we're going to see how this works. We're going to cut some notches in here after we do some measurements and see where this takes
I
us.
don't know when that road turns. Running on, running on,
Right now I'm doing some measurements
running on,
to
running
put in some
running on,
frames of
running
curves.
to the sun, but I'm running behind.
Cutting these at 21 and then going over an inch and a half for the width. Boards. Hopefully they're consistent. And then 3/4 of an inch. 1 3/4 inch in depth.
Everyone I know, everywhere I go, people need some reason to believe. I don't know about anyone but me.
I like the whole idea of notching out wood to give better fit and finish. And that way the weight, the strength of everything does not reside on the screws, but rather on the wood, which is much sturdier. The sheer strength of the thin screws is not near as good as the downward force upon the wood. I also love these T-squares. Wish I would have known about them a long time ago.
Honey, you really tempt me, and all the way you look so kind. I wanna know who you are, but I'm running behind. Running on, don't even know what I'm holding for.
chisel on both sides so we don't get the tear out. And everything should fit real nicely right in there. So we measured everything right. A great project is actually building yourself your first mallet. Even if it's just a simple one like this. It's made out of an ash head and a oak handle. Just drill a hole through it, put a couple of screws from each end with some wood glue, and I probably use this hammer more than any other for a diverse amount of things. Incredibly useful. Cheap, practical, and when it goes bad, just replace it. Make one in half an hour or less from stuff you got laying around. Here it is. We have our shelf for the 3-point attachments. Question is, not just the 3-point, but the other attachments for the tractor. Will it work? So my plan is that on the bottom, we put the, right down here, we will put the mower, the rotary cutter, and the forks. It's the narrowest. Then on this shelf, we would put the grader box, and up here we would be putting the bucket. So we're going to find out if that works. So stay with me. So here's what it looks like with the tractor in here. And yes, it does look tight because it is tight, but it was the only way to get everything in here. And if you'll notice, there's actually quite a bit of space on the back side over here. And my goal on this was actually to have this piece of equipment down here. And for somehow I did not take into account the upper part of this, and I don't know if I could cut out a notch here and make it fit. I think I could, but it's going to take some more engineering, so might have to be something we try. And over on this side, as the hydraulics lose its pressure, you can see I made sure that I was far enough away from the edge that I wasn't going to hit. So it's okay. It'll be another experiment to work on. But for right now, all of it's out of the rain and of this moisture. So I was checking to make sure that there wasn't too much pressure on the wood itself. And I checked both sides, and there's actually there's actually gaps. It's not trying to pinch here. You can actually see it. And so the wood's not having any problem here. I thought maybe it would, but you can shake it and it seems fine. So I'm glad I ended up notching those out. We'll just have to play around with it, maybe rebuild it, redesign it, because really the forks and the bucket are my most used pieces. And since they're the most used pieces, I'd like to be able to access either one at any time, and right now the forks are blocking the bucket. So we're just going to have to mess around with that and get it straightened out. That's why I wanted the bucket on top and the grater box in the middle. Unless we'd somehow put the mower in the middle and the bucket on the bottom, but that might work, but this brace would have to be moved right there. Okay, well, thanks for joining me. I hope you liked that. Hopefully it gave you some ideas to for your own saving some space. Please give me a like on the channel, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Take care and have a great day.